Welcome to the Cincy Postcast presented by LASIK.com, where better vision leads to better calls. I'm Kevin Wallace, and before we get started with today's episode, I want to tell you about our friends over at Streetside Brewery. That's right, the best brewery in Cincinnati. It's partnering with the Postcast. Go check them out. Go over to the Columbia Tusculum neighborhood. That's where you will find them. It is a really cool spot. They are brewing some great beers. They've got some great specials all through the week. Highly, highly recommend it. There's always a burger truck out there that's selling some delicious, delicious burgers. Pimento cheese fries. Don't sleep on those. There some really good stuff happening over at Streetside, as well as the events. Absolutely love that they always have something going on at Streetside. For example, you got Whiskey Wednesdays. That's right. $2 off all whiskey pours and $5 old fashions happening at Streetside, as well as trivia happening on Thursdays from 7 to 9 p.m. I will also remind you, tickets are still on sale. VIP Speak of the Devil tasting experience. That is happening on Wednesday, April 9th at 6 p.m. They still have a couple of tickets available. Go check that out if you're interested. It is really, really cool. So a huge thank you to Streetside for sponsoring this and so many episodes of the Postcast. And on today's episode, well, there isn't a whole lot of FC Cincinnati news, but that is not to say there isn't a whole lot of Cincinnati news. That's right. We talk a little bit about the subway. Everybody wants a Sundance update. Oh, we got you. We got you covered. Part 2, we got your Patreon questions, some good ones. There's some music-based questions. And we wrap it up in part 3 with a preview of the Nashville match this weekend. I should note, if you are here to listen about FC Cincinnati, use the timestamps in the description of the episode. Most of the apps will let you skip right to the time that is called out in the timestamps in the description of the episode. There's not a lot of FC Cincinnati talk in this one, so do yourself a favor. If that's what you're looking for, skip right to it. Otherwise, oh boy, buckle up for this edition of the Postcast. Joining me to talk about all of that and more, joined by two gentlemen who have never accidentally added somebody to a group chat, joined by the Chief, joined by Grayson. Grayson, how disappointed was every single reporter in Washington, D.C. that they were not the one accidentally added to the principals committee?
Honestly, I think that they were all relieved because they got to do the thing where they were like, well, why did you leave the group chat?
Yeah, right. Good.
When we all know, like, any one of us would have left the group chat. Like, I would have been like personally, like, terrified.
You have to like burn your phone.
No, see, you can't I would have been like, they're coming to get me.
Right.
Like the second I see that, like, I'm out of the group chat, I'm like, oh, they're coming to get me.
It's over.
It's like the scene.
I don't know what I did, but it's over.
It's like the scene from The Office where it's like, you're compromised, destroy phone now. Like, just now, my only problem with leaving the group chat is, number one, this is if you're the reporter, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to really see if you can fish for some of the big answers. So, like, when they're planning all this, why wouldn't you just throw out there, well, what about that new alien prototype from Area 51? Can we use that? And just see if anyone responds to that.
Right.
Can we use the same thing that they used to get Kennedy?
Right.
When they're talking about like targeting whatever it is.
Right. Would this be not a better opportunity instead of an Air Force strike wing? Could we not use the space laser for this?
Like, we thought about creating a tornado over their headquarters.
Right. They're like, we found target. And you say, oh, we're going to use the heart attack gun, right?
The other thing, too, that's the missed opportunity here is I think you can't just Irish goodbye that group chat. You've got to send like a GIF or a meme on your way out the door, right? Like,
I mean,
like the Homer in the bush GIF. This would be like the absolute perfect use of this reaction.
Or any of the old vintage abandoned thread GIFs would be great
or
here.
The dude that flashes the deuces and then just disappears.
Yes.
That one.
Yes.
I would have sent some kind of Jay and Silent Bob GIF, I think.
or hey guys, I think I got added by mistake. What are we talking about?
Given how little anybody was like truly paying attention to like who was in the chat, and the fact that like none of the names were uniform, man, it'd have been so easy to just change your name to Elon and just make suggestions.
Would it be funny or not funny if when they announced that the strike was happening, if you just responded with F?
Well, dude, the JD Vance has almost that reaction where Walt's like messages like in garbled mush that like we got the target in the building and they collapsed the building on him, and JD just goes, what? And he goes, yeah, no, we found he was going into his girlfriend's apartment, we collapsed the building on him. And then JD, nice, like, cool, we just killed a whole bunch of civilians.
Hell
sick.
Yeah.
Responding like nice or whatever he did.
Right.
So
yeah,
funny.
I don't have it in front of me.
It's like what your buddy texts you and he's like, yeah, they didn't charge me for my drink at Chipotle. And you're like, nice. We leveled a whole building to get one guy who had been tracking for a long period of time. We waited for him to walk into a building full of people, and then we got him.
Yeah,
nice.
Nailed it.
Should I just add someone to our group chat just randomly right now?
What's really funny about this is
reporter Pat Brennan.
We'll discuss our not battle plans, our attack plans,
our
very
Reds opening
things.
day lineup, if you will.
Right. No, my grandma did this in our big family group chat that had like 18 people in it to be able to communicate to like all my cousins and aunts and uncles. And then there was just a random number that she accidentally added that nobody could place. And we didn't leave that thread for a long time, even though after we had already identified that there was a bad number in there. And I just feel really sorry for like whichever coworker she had that just accidentally got added to our family's nonsense. But it's like that, but like where people died.
I sent out our wedding save the dates like electronically. And I got like no notifications for a couple of days. Yeah. And I was like, what's going on? Did these not go through? What's happening? So I went on the account and I made like one like letter typo in the email address for it. And it turned out that was like somebody's actual email address. So some guy had been getting like our notifications for the save the date for a couple of days. And I was like able to like look on it and see like who had like looked at our save the date. And the guy had looked and I was like, well, at least he knows.
At least send a gift.
It was actually a guy like in England. Like no joke. Like I figured out who it was. Like I sent an email and I was like, whoops, sorry. And I didn't hear back. Just like these guys.
I have been on, in much that same vein, for the past 2 years, I've been on a group thread with 9 other people, and I'm clearly a wrong number on here. That I don't know where these people are from, but once a month I get a text that says, just a reminder, we have our safety committee meeting this Monday morning across from Starbucks. See you then. And then occasionally people respond, thank you, or I'm not going to be able to make it. Every so often I just say I'm going to be running 15 minutes late into this group thread. It's like just right here, you know, it's just.
What if that would have been funny is if after the guy threw in all the details about the results of like the first operation.
Yeah.
If like Jeff Goldberg had said, what?
What? Or when they were listing out like who you're checking in for, please name your person. Jeff Goldberg from The Atlantic.
Right, yeah, right.
The Atlantic
happy
Monthly,
to help.
TheAtlantic.com.
The Atlantic Online edition.
Trent Krim, The Independent. Yeah.
Oh,
you know what's
man.
funny too is in this group that I'm reading back, somebody actually uses my government name for my first name.
Oh,
So like there is another me in here.
You know what I heard?
Oh, nice.
You know what I heard is I heard that the White House was gonna suspend the Atlantic's match day credentials for a
We're
month.
reporting on this.
They're not gonna let them in the press box and in the post game press conferences for a month.
Do you think this is how Laurel got some of the details of these player issues? Is that she got randomly added incorrectly to a group chat by Pat Noonan and Chris Albright?
She's in the WhatsApp group. Yeah,
I think it was like LP, and somebody thought it was somebody made a typo.
Yeah.
Wait,
wait, you're not
there.
You're not Lou Phillips from marketing. What are we doing here?
Right.
Oh, somebody tried to type like KM, and they typed LP.
Ooh, yeah.
Kakuta Mane. Why are we trying to enter this group chat?
I was actually thinking Kamahela Makochi.
We have not one but two. We have not one but two shitty choices for KM letters.
So Laurel had been getting her scoops through like group chats for like a year and a half. And
just fly on the wall. Chief, you might have JD Vance in your mystery group thread. Can
I ask again? New phone, who dis?
Damn, so many good opportunities there, and it was squandered.
No, but if you want to, if you have my number and you want to add me to a group chat where there might be information available and shared, and just see if nobody notices, I am willing to be in any group chat. Just throw me in there.
Just here's how you find out if JD Vance is in your group chat. Just start typing like Latin Mass tonight, Latin Mass tonight, Queen, Latin Mass tonight, Queen.
Ashley Furniture. We thought we might end up with a new pope, but instead we got smoke. We have a new coach at Xavier University. That's exciting too.
Dick Pitino. Congrats.
Dick Pitino Jr.
Oh, excuse me. Yes. Very, very important distinction there.
It's been good. If this had stretched on another day, I've been doing a lot of extra podcasting work as a result.
Dose.
Dick Pitos.
I don't think you want that one.
No.
Are his fans Patino files?
No, please don't.
I'm just
juniors.
not even juniors.
RPs.
Great place. Yeah, no, big week. Just not a lot going on with the FC. So
yeah, Chief, you've been cheating on us in. Are they X spaces? Are they just spaces? What's the branding?
X, the everything app. It's all happening on X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, I've been hopping on to every Xavier men's basketball space that's been going on this week. And I've just been, if they're opening the phone lines up and asking for speakers, I'm absolutely willing to hop on and give my thoughts.
I saw you were speaking in a space last night, and I went on, and the only thing I heard was like, sorry to interrupt you, Chief. Thanks for calling in. I was like, yeah, this tracks.
Yeah, he was on a rant.
Oh,
it was good. It's been good.
The Xavier edition of the podcast comes.
This is what happens when your wife leaves on spring break with another one of her friends. Hits a little different when you're an adult.
Spring break forever.
Speaking of a Cincinnati
really good movie.
Spring break, I am wondering, Grayson, how confident are we that the fine folks at the Sundance Film Festival may be enjoying their spring in Cincinnati? It feels like there's been some heat around this.
Every time I see there be some kind of news out of the coast where they're like, people are freaking out, this might go to Cincinnati. It just makes me feel more and more confident that it's coming to Cincinnati. And if you guys would indulge me, I would propose a quick reading series
Ooh.
from a Variety article that dropped today.
Oh, I was thinking the director or whatever from a couple of weeks ago, but no, please.
No, this is a Variety article that dropped today.
Oh, please.
We haven't done a soccer blog book club in a while.
We still aren't doing a soccer blog book club.
We almost did one with the Atlantic piece in the text message thread. So yes, please, I will indulge you, Grayson, here.
So soccer blog book club, March 2025, just squeaking one in.
I like it.
Headline: Sundance attendees worry about Fest moving to Cincinnati. Sounds like a fait accompli.
Yeah,
they're writing this.
Yeah.
As
you're not worried about
looms,
something that's not happening. So yeah,
but advocates say that's coastal elitist bias.
Hell yeah, get them.
While party ready this is a subhead. There's
Okay.
so many words.
It's Variety, obviously.
Variety. While party ready attendees grumble that J-Lo isn't going to play a secret party in Ohio, thank God.
Bet.
Sundance insiders believe the complaints are coming from people who don't actually know the community. This is by William Earle in Variety.
Always loved William.
I remember the first time I came here. A producer with a film at this year's Sundance told me in January, while devouring a sandwich at the Annex Burger Bar, situated on Main Street in Park City.
Using the word devour there is just fantastic for setting the mental
it feels
imagery.
rude.
Yeah, a little bit.
So sandwich feels like a deliberate word choice, given it's a burger bar. It tells me they're not eating a burger at the Annex Burger Bar. They're eating some other kind of thing between bread, right?
But if it is a burger, that makes the writer pretentious. So, somebody's losing here.
Is a burger a sandwich?
Yes.
Talk amongst yourselves. By the way, the Annex Burger Bar sucks.
I'm so glad you have takes on this.
Like it's next to
It's no zips, is what we're saying.
There's like a cowboy bar next to Annex Burger, and it's like supposed to be some big honking thing. Yeah, No Name Saloon also sucks. Like it's just like the only stuff there.
Right.
Anyway, seeing the mountains as you drive in, getting to know your neighbors and bartenders, watching people in their winter gear. It's just such a unique vibe. With love to Ohio. I don't think you're going to get this energy and beautiful setting in the Midwest.
So you're
which
not
is true.
So
we
you're
don't
not
have neighbors. We don't have bartenders
or winter
people
gear.
don't wear coats.
There's no hills or jeez.
Although the Sundance Film Festival still has one more year left in its Park City location, the talk of this year's fest was its departure to a new home in 2027. Boulder, Colorado, Cincinnati, Ohio, and Salt Lake and Park City. By the way, Salt Lake and Park City are one bid, which I do think is relevant to the rest of the article. Just keep that in mind. Are the 3 candidate spots per the organization, and a final decision is expected any day now. The topic was nearly unavoidable in Park City this year, with debates about the fest's future taking place at nearly every street corner. The consensus among the creatives and attendees I spoke with, Cincinnati doesn't feel like home to the Sundance community.
They not like us.
No. While waiting for the bus outside of the Eccles Theater after the premiere of the Palestinian family drama All That's Left of You, many attendees were huddled against the cold. Yet one Los Angeles-based film student who is attending his first Sundance told me he didn't mind the freezing weather because the festival gave cozy vibes, distinctly at odds with Southern California. Well, buddy, if you want vibes at odds with Southern California, let me introduce you to Cincinnati, Ohio.
I don't know. In terms of like, it's no mass transit when you get off the airplane in the airport. He'll feel right at home as soon as he flies into CVG.
It's a good point.
That's
it
true.
also gets cold here too. So check that out.
Yeah. This just feels like a vacation with some great films around, he said. I'm meeting so many people. and things are so compact that you bump into interesting folks. I grew up in the Midwest, and it's just different. So I got a couple of things to say about this.
Please.
Okay. And I do want to hear what you guys got to say. But one, a film student who says this feels like a vacation with some great films around. Rich kid.
Yeah.
Like rich kid. A lot of film students can't afford to just bum around Park City at Sundance time.
Yep.
They'll be able to do that in Cincinnati if it's here. Be a lot easier for film students to bum around Cincinnati.
Yeah. You can go. They can stay out at the Holiday Inn in Eastgate and commute downtown for the festival. Save a little scratch. This is all positive. The other thing, though, is if he is talking about bumping into interesting people, this is a rich kid film student that's just looking to network. Is all he's looking to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
And by interesting people, it's the next person I can. Oh, did I drop my script here for this new blockbuster I'm working on? Oh, can you pick that up for me, please? Well, you just keep it. You just keep it.
Yeah, I mean, I do think there's an element to that for sure, like inherent to the festival, like people who want to sell scripts and want to sell movies. But I think that's going to happen wherever the film festival is.
Yeah, you're going to bump into interesting people no matter where it is. You
know
can't.
A selling point for sure.
You know where things will not be. You know where things will still be pretty compact. OTR.
Yes.
Okay. You know where they won't be compact? Split between Park City and Salt Lake City.
Where their plan is to bus people between the two cities. Like, it sounds awful.
Yeah,
39-minute bus ride, according to Google Maps.
Without traffic.
Yeah.
Where the Sundance Film Festival now, people sit hours in traffic just in the Park City area. When I was in Park City the week before Sundance this year, I took an Uber and the guy told me that he just doesn't drive at Sundance anymore.
Wow.
Because he said you just sit there for hours.
Of course.
He's like, you sit there for hours, you get one ride. It's not worth it. So he had like a gig with a guy for like a couple of days where he was going to be like his like private full-time driver.
Sure.
But he was like, I'm not doing Uber for this because it's a disaster.
Damn. I mean, Cincinnati's not a big city, which is obviously a selling point, but like, we can accommodate a good number of people.
Yeah, we get a Bengals crowd. The Sundance Film Festival crowd is not going to be that much more on a day, like per day, than comes to like a Bengals game.
Right. Blank pulled in what, like 1 million people in a weekend and things like that. I think
more than that.
Yeah.
I think multiples of that. And also this film student who says, I grew up in the Midwest and it's just different. Well, if you grew up in Cincinnati, you wouldn't say you grew up in the Midwest. You would say you grew up in Cincinnati.
In Cincinnati, right.
Okay. And since you didn't say that, I'm going to say you don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
You grew up in Evanston, Illinois.
I was going to say Evansville, Indiana, actually. But
no, I think I guarantee this film student grew up in Evanston, Illinois. His parents are professors at Northwestern.
I was going to say Naperville. They commute to Evanston.
Sure. Different indeed. One huge change is the lack of ski culture in Cincinnati, where the closest slopes are hours away. True.
Fair. Perfect north erasure, but I'll allow it.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
It's an hour away, and it is technically taller than some of the surrounding area.
When you take into account the traffic you're avoiding, you could just take a direct flight to Salt Lake like one day and back, spend a couple hours at Deer Valley, and then fly back.
Isn't everybody flying on a private jet anyway? They'll be fine.
Yeah. I spoke to one screenwriter while waiting in the rideshare pickup lane who said the times she has been to the festival have been a blend of seeing old friends, partying, and hitting the slopes. Great. You can see old friends, you can party, you can't hit the slopes here. It's going to be tough to hit the slopes if it's split between Park City and Salt Lake.
Yeah.
And you're not going to hit the slopes at all in Boulder. Boulder is not right next to a ski town, right next to a ski mountain like Park City is. Boulder is a couple hours from the nearest like decent ski area. So
no, it's in the mountains. You can ski on any mountain. I've read that somewhere.
Yeah. So it's like, again, like this feels like they're arguing for something that's not going to be the case regardless of where it is moving forward based on current plans.
Right. And it sounds like the keep it plan, which I'm going to guess a lot of the people quoted here are in favor of, you're losing whatever it is you like anyway, because you're splitting it up between Salt Lake City and Park City. So like you're just getting a lesser version of it, or the Park City portion will become like super exclusive and you can't get to that portion. Like it'll suck no matter what. So you might as well move it to either Boulder or Cincy. And at that point, I feel like we blow Boulder out of the water. So
And I remember, like, again, when I was in Park City, there were articles about the thing potentially moving, and a lot of the local businesses didn't care because people that are in town for the festival are going to like this event or that event. They're not really necessarily experiencing upticks in business. Frankly, if it moves and then people can just ski travel to Park City that week,
right,
there may be more business for the local businesses because they won't be going to like the Amex tent or whatever. Right.
And they're not going to, choke off the traffic and make it difficult for people to be there. Yeah.
Right. I definitely treat Sundance as a vacation, she said. I see a few movies, but it's usually more about checking out the discussions and looking for free cocktails. But we always pair it with skiing on the best weather days, and Cincinnati isn't exactly known for great snowboarding and skiing. Again, like, I don't think this person is necessarily who they're thinking about, because it doesn't sound like this screenwriter is like trying to get a movie made.
Right. It doesn't sound like they like Sundance. It sounds like they like skiing.
And we might not have snowboarding or skiing in Cincinnati, but I would direct you to the film Airborne, where we have some killer rollerblading.
Thank you. It's the same idea.
Just ask Jack Black about it. Yeah. While grabbing a latte at Java Cow on Sunday morning, Java Cow also sucks. It's for babies. It's not a good coffee shop. It's an ice cream place.
Oof.
Okay. One publicist lamented not seeing Jennifer Lopez's surprise appearance and performance at TAO Park City the night before, but it only strengthened their position that Sundance shouldn't move to Ohio. Okay. First of all, you didn't see Jennifer Lopez.
You'll have the same experience of
You'll
not
have the same
seeing her
experience
here.
you had in Park City. Like, if this publicist couldn't get invited to the Jennifer Lopez show,
not that publicity.
I also didn't get invited to the Jennifer Lopez show. I don't know what to tell you.
Well, is the idea that Jennifer Lopez would be performing at Park City in Sundance happen to be there? Well, just like, yeah, but like,
also, like, once she plays Jenny from the Block, do you really have any interest in sticking around?
Also, who cares about a Jennifer Lopez show? But in the year of our Lord 2025,
sir.
Actually, I'm pretty sure we've low key canceled Jennifer Lopez because she like stole all of her music from backup dancers and backup singers.
You should look into speak Spanish.
Yeah, her real name is Ned. No, I just like wherever the Sundance is like where these people will be paid to put on secret shows. Like,
yep.
It's not that Park City is inherent to Jennifer Lopez's identity, is that she's there for the festival.
I'm just here for the fact that Carlos Mencia just took an absolute stray.
Thank
in
you.
2025.
I'm glad somebody got it.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm sorry, like the fact that like publicists who get lattes at Java Cow can't get invited to a secret show at a secret Jennifer Lopez show doesn't seem to me to be an argument against having it here.
You can enjoy our shitty coffee here. Come on.
But anyway, this guy says, I hate to say it, but there's just nothing sexy about Cincinnati, he said.
Whoa.
J-Lo isn't going to play a secret party in Ohio. Is there a scene out there? Are there film lovers there? People don't want to be honest about this, but there's an exclusivity to Park City and just nothing seems cool about Cincinnati. Okay. There's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah,
right?
Sure
wow.
Is J-Lo going to play a secret party in Ohio? Maybe. You wouldn't know about it, my guy.
Right. It'd be secret and your ass wouldn't be invited because you'd be too busy doing what you really want to do, going skiing somewhere.
Again, she did not
get your
perform
foam ice cream latte from Java Cow.
She did not perform out of the goodness of her heart. She was paid by a sponsor. She'll be paid to perform here too.
She just happened to be playing an underground show at the same time as Sundance at the Chase Sapphire Lounge, or whatever the fuck it was at. Are there film lovers there?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Never heard of a film.
We love all the films in Cincinnati. Marvel, Star Wars, and Pixar.
Is there a scene out there? Well, no, because scene closed. It was a bar next to Righteous Room. There's an exclusivity to the Park City. I don't know, man. You can just go there. I tell you this. You can just go.
Argument for
Jeff Birding was there during Sundance,
right?
Like it's possible anybody can show up.
If they let Jeff Birding there, they let anybody there.
No, but like this is the
most Cincinnati person.
Here is the answer. What you have to do in order to replicate the Park City experience and the exclusivity in Cincinnati is you just pick one neighborhood in Cincinnati and be like, that's the place to be. And if you can't be in this neighborhood, it's not even, you're missing out entirely. So just make like Lockland or Reading. Like
I was going to say Camp Washington.
Camp Washington plays.
You have
Harrison.
If you didn't go to the secret, I don't know who's like somebody who's like kind of washed but still alive. If you go to the secret Shakira show at the Mom and M in Camp Washington.
Great callback. Oh, God. First off, nothing sexy about Cincinnati. I'm sorry. Have you never heard of Hustler? Come on now.
Have you heard about the woman that Joe Burrow keeps in his house for when it gets robbed?
I did a very extensive deep dive of like things that I think are iconic about Cincinnati. That was just a running list I was making while I was working today. One of the ones that didn't make the cut, and I want to talk about sexy. A woman who, some
Sarah
people
Jessica
out there
Parker.
might know. Bonnie Rotten.
Carmen Electra.
Don't act like you don't know.
Bonnie Rotten. No, I do not know. But you know what? You know what is sexy in Cincinnati? Hustler.
Yes, exactly. Come
Is
on.
Bonnie Rotten Hustler?
More or less.
Okay. When Cincinnati was named as one of the final 3 potential locales in September, the mayor, Aftab Piraval, and the president and CEO of Film Cincinnati, Kristen Schlottman, who, by the way, raised the sword last year. Has Aftab raised the sword?
Yeah. No.
Good. Released a statement advocating for their city, writing, "We are ecstatic to continue being considered as the next host city for the Sundance Film Festival. As longtime attendees, we believe Cincinnati's dedication to the arts, hospitality, and historic theaters make it a great fit. We are inspired by the idea of partnering with the Sundance Institute to celebrate the festival's rich legacy while introducing a dynamic, walkable, and accessible new venue. Cincinnati's blend of creativity, culture, and community promises to be an unforgettable experience for both filmmakers and audiences." No notes. Purval attended the festival, according to the city's local news reports, as well as a delegation of leaders from the city, including Jeff Birding and I think Phil Castellini.
Where else are you going to go?
Where else are you going to go, Sundance?
Damn, what a great slogan for Sundance to Cincy.
Film Cincinnati was also a sponsor of the festival's opening night Taste of Sundance event. Yet that doesn't alleviate Giroux vocal concerns that deal makers won't follow the festival out east. While the compact Main Street setup of Park City allows for brands to have there's a typo. It says splashy. I'm going to say splashy signage in a concentrated area. A more spread out fest in Cincinnati doesn't allow for the same ubiquity.
I mean, if you just confine it to Over the Rhine, yes, it does. Like, just keep it there.
Yeah.
Yet some members of the filmmaking community who know Cincinnati best advocate for the city as a vibrant potential home for the festival. Brandon Harris, a critic, filmmaker, and former development executive at Amazon Studios, was born and raised in the city and shot his 2012 feature Red Legs there. By the way, never heard of this movie. Feels like a movie we should watch for this show.
I think I know what it's about.
Red Legs?
I'm going to take a wild guess.
He points to the city's booming filmmaking scene, which has attracted directors like Todd Haynes and Steven Soderbergh, as well as its solid infrastructure and rich cultural history as benefits of heading to the Midwest. I think moving to Cincinnati would certainly speak to a desire to be in a less rarefied and more accessible place, not just geographically, but socioculturally, he said. It's a blue city in a red state that is vastly more diverse than Boulder or Park City.
Boom.
It's the home of both the National Underground Railroad Museum and the birthplace of Reform Judaism. It feels to me like the place is more representative of the America that Sundance is trying to reach than the other potential candidates, the America that the film industry is struggling to figure out how to reach with its wares.
I mean, I always enjoy when you can call out the plutocrats a little bit for, boy, the two places you're picking kind of look alike.
Yeah. I thought that was a great, I thought that was a great, nice little comment.
Yeah.
Furthermore, a source close to the Sundance organization waves off criticism of Cincinnati as coastal elite bias.
Hell yeah.
And maintains that the festival is focused on film, not activations and parties at TAO.
Hell yeah.
I don't know, man. I love a good activation.
I love an activation. We did activations at Blink all day. Like there were activations all day at Blink.
I mean, we had an activation at a Gold Star Chili. Like you can have an activate. You can term anything an activation if you work hard enough at it.
These are really the most creative people that we have.
Right?
Are just focused on more activations.
We just tell the story of Cincinnati.
Hashtag activate Cincinnati.
They want to be activated. That's what I'm hearing from the people in this article.
We're almost done here. What remains to be seen is who would follow the fest to the Midwest.
All of these people, they would all go.
Oh, they would
all go because they're all sycophants and they want to see and be seen and they want to rub elbows. And what they will do is they will bitch the entire flight here from wherever the hell they are. Once they get here, they'll figure out, oh, this is kind of cheap. It's kind of nice. I didn't have to take out a second mortgage to be here. Oh, I mean, I guess I'll book for next year.
Yeah, and they'll leave and they'll be like, you know what? Cincinnati was kind of nice with it.
I'm actually waiting for the aging European star playing an MLS quote, or like, actually, the level of Cincinnati was a lot higher than I thought. Like, this is.
You want to talk about the dead internet theory? The dead internet theory will truly be proven when, after the first year of Sundance, we visited Cincinnati for the first time and we're shocked to find out how good the food scene was there.
You got to try these five
over and over and over again.
They'll ask the Sundance board why they came, and they're like, well, we were really, really excited by the project.
the people.
I took one look at Murchie Health Training Complex and I was like, man, this is the location for us.
That's what landed Sundance.
They told me I could bring my sauna. One director screening a short film at this year's Sundance said he wasn't sure if he'd submit to a version held elsewhere.
Hell yeah.
Dude, if you're making short films, you will submit wherever they will take.
Right. Get ready to learn Skyline, buddy.
I feel like the legacy of Sundance is decades of cool storytellers trudging up and down a snowy main street, he said. There's a vibe. There's a hitness to it. You think of Reservoir Dogs and Sex, Lies, and Videotape and Robert Redford in Winter Gear. It's iconic. What's iconic about Cincinnati? Well, first of all, my guy, you're not making Reservoir Dogs and Sex, Lies, and Videotape.
Yeah.
Second of all, those are just movies. They're still going to be movies.
That's like the one thing you can guarantee.
They weren't filmed in Park City. Those are just movies. They're still going to have them. And also, Robert Redford in Winter Gear. Have you ever seen a movie called The Old Man and the Gun? Starring Robert Redford, filmed in Cincinnati.
Hey. Also, it does get cold here, and you're more than welcome to wear winter gear while walking up and down Main Street.
And you know what? Fine. If it makes you feel any better, we'll buy some of those snow machines from Perfect North, and we'll just make Main Street or Vine Street into a snowy snowscape for the week that you're here.
The ski snow machines on top of all the buildings in OTR would be so funny.
There's one other. So that's the end of the article. Damn. But there's one other thing that I do want to bring up. There was a tweet in response to this today. I'm trying to find it.
Well, it got ratioed, which I really enjoy.
What got ratioed?
The Variety tweet about this article.
The Variety article got ratioed.
Cincinnati hashtag Cincinnati mentioned, and the Army came to its defense.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, fine. Found it. It's from a guy named Stephen Martini.
Please.
It's a reply. It says, at Variety, I met my wife on snowy Main Street at our Sundance premiere party for Limelife with Lymelife. It's a movie this guy wrote and directed. Never heard of it. The magic of those mountains changed my life. But the festival is so big now they need infrastructure of a city. And since he has heart and soul filled with film-loving people, I voted Cincinnati. And he did spell Cincinnati wrong. He said one N and two T's. That's classic. Okay, my guy. That's fine.
Well,
you love Cincinnati. We love you, Stephen Martini. I did find out that this guy was apparently in the movie Major Payne.
Ah, yeah, that's right. That was pointed out to us in the Discord. That was good.
And so I do want to make this promise, if you guys would join me, that if we get Sundance in honor of Stephen Martini, not Steve Martin.
No,
Stephen Martini. We will watch Major Payne and talk about it on an episode of the show.
Deal. I think we should do an entire Sundance.
No, we should definitely do like a whole Sundance series.
Yeah.
Major Payne is part of it because of our good friend, Stephen Martini.
Yeah.
When I think Cincinnati film knowers,
I think Stephen Martini.
I think Major Payne doing the robot at the nightclub.
Do you think we talked about Major Payne, Stephen Martini would come on the show?
Yes. Why wouldn't he? Come on. Also, I am a little concerned, though. He said he voted for Cincinnati. That feels good, but he spelled it wrong. Does his ballot count?
I bet it was a check the box.
Okay.
An audit. We're going to audit the vote, though. There's a dump of ballots coming in from Park City, Utah.
How many mules do we have to send?
Right.
I got one last thing for us that it's definitely FC Cincinnati related. Chief?
Yes.
Oh, this is old. Never mind. It was shared in the Discord. I thought it was new. This was the proposals for Cincinnati's unused subway tunnels. These actually had renderings attached to them, which I had never seen before.
Although I did get a DM from someone who wants to help connect us with some people to do a Cincinnati subway episode during the Club World Cup break. So that is going to happen. We're going to make that happen.
I love to hear that. Okay, well, I thought that was a new article. It's an old article, which means we can move over to part 2, where we touch on some Patreon questions. Believe it or not, there's just a couple more to get through for the month of March. So let's go do that. All right, we are back. Off to part 2, where we got some Patreon questions. That's right. If you would like to support us financially, you can do so via the website Patreon. You can search for us there. There's links in the description of the episode. But for the mere cost, the gigantic cost, really, when you think about it, of $2 a month, you can support the show, helps keep the lights on, really just keeps like the hosting fees at bay, which is nice. And yeah, you get to ask us a question, which gets answered on the podcast. So we'll start here with Cuccio, who asks, "Can I kick it?"
Yes, you can.
There you go. That's the answer, Cuccio. Red Lee asks, "Where in the CVG airport can we watch the FCC game?"
Oh man, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think there's any pub partners in there. I would assume that your best bet is probably I think there's a Christian Moorline tap room. I think in Terminal A, I want to say that they might have it there.
Isn't there a Braxton too?
I don't know. I never go anywhere else other than the Sky Club. So
right.
Your best bet's probably your phone.
Yeah,
your phone. To say it.
There's a Bengals bar and kitchen coming soon.
I don't think that's open yet, because that used to be the old Outback Steakhouse.
There's a Braxton Brewing tap room in the A gates.
I think that replaced the Moorline tap room, so I think it's the same spot. So I think that's probably your best bet. The other thing you can do too is there are some places where you can hop on the Wi-Fi and just stream it to one of their televisions and hope nobody gets mad about that. That's always an option.
I was thinking that too. Can you cast or airplay or whichever your poison is to
it feels like it feels like a no-brainer that they should partner with like the airlines and get MLS League Pass on flights.
Yeah.
Like be able to watch games while you're on an airplane. Like captive audience, there's no shortage of live televisions on an airplane or in the lounge. I would think that would be a no-brainer idea for when you're flying.
There you go.
Yeah.
It reminds me, Chief, back in the day, and by back in the day, I mean just like 3 years ago, MLS had a Pluto TV channel, one of these free streaming services channels. And I was just thinking, man, they should have that on the Apple MLS season pass, like a sort of quasi 24-hour live channel that they would sprinkle in their various studio shows and podcasts and things like that with it. But then they had like, historic games and things like that. Real missed opportunity. Could have had that going.
Yeah, I think they should have.
Andrew McCormick asks, what is your optimal or preferred at-home setup for movies, sports, video games, etc.? A location in the home, display type, size, seating. What do we got? What do we got out there for the post? Are we watching in a living room, watching on a laptop? Do we have like a battle station set up for your PC with 15 different monitors? Where are we consuming our content these days, gentlemen?
I like a movie on the TV with my sound system. The soccer game, I don't know, it just depends. I don't watch the game at home with sound a lot. So sometimes it's on my laptop, sometimes my phone, sometimes the TV, just depends whatever else is going on. And I don't play video games. So
smart. It's probably a better way to do it.
Yeah, sadly, I have a small house. I don't have like the big sprawling area for like, oh, here's a separate place to watch TV downstairs in the basement or something like that. So I do consume, I'm a little bit of a heathen and a throwback. I do consume the majority of my media on the one big TV downstairs in the living room or the den or what have you. So do that. The only upgrade I've made to my system is I got on Amazon Prime Day, I got a set of Beats headphones that are Bluetooth, and then I'll connect that to the TV, especially after Mrs. Chief goes to bed, so that I can crank the volume up and not wake everybody up in the house.
That's the way to do it. I've got Apple TVs throughout the house, and I love being able to connect the AirPods. That is helpful. But my preferred setup is, in fact, the sprawling basement setup for the TV with a big old sectional couch, a big ass TV. And I highly recommend, Grayson mentioned a sound system. I also have a just classic traditional 5.1 setup, but I recommend the website Monoprice. They used to be a little better back in the day, but still pretty good. This is like generic electronics, and they do not steer me wrong. I've relied on them for many, many years, and they have an incredibly cheap home stereo setup. Just go out and buy like a decent receiver, and you're good. You'll be fine.
I do along with Chief, I do watch a decent amount of like movies through headphones. So like I'll connect my headphones to my TV. I watch movies in the mornings a decent amount because I wake up before my wife does. And so if there's a movie I want to watch that I know she's not interested in, or we have to like watch Rebel Moon for this show, I'll like start that at like 7:30 a.m. and watch it with the headphones.
I'm so sorry. How many mornings have we ruined because of the postcast?
Our bad.
Too many. All right, we got one here from where did it go? Redbeard, who asks, pick an FC player What is their favorite Michelle Branch song?
Who do you think the most likely Michelle Branch listener is on the FC?
Nick Hagland.
Yeah, that's probably right. He seems like the kind of person that would I'm going to do my karaoke song during spring training or the preseason as Michelle Branch, but secretly is like really into it and had a tough time picking.
Yeah. Lucho Acosta, are you happy now? Okay. That's
not an FC player.
Well,
but,
fair.
Pavel Bucha everywhere.
Yeah.
Was she the one that did the remake of Big Yellow Taxi with the Counting Crows?
That was Counting Crows.
Yeah, but she was like on that song with the Counting Crows, right?
Was she?
I don't think so.
She
Vanessa
did.
Carlton.
Oh, the same person.
Wow. They are the same person to me as well.
They're no Stephen Martini, that's for certain.
Evander, all you wanted. See? There you go. I got one for us. And then I think this is the final question. I'm going to ask it. And then we'll do a quick scan. Adam Clay Reeves asks, name your top 5 punk rock albums. I don't know that we're going to get 5, but do we have any favorite punk albums? Punk rock albums?
I mean,
the best of The Clash. I don't know, American Idiot, 21 Guns.
So like I was big into the Dropkick Murphys back in the day, and like Flogging Molly, and I was like everyone that was Catholic in the late 90s, early 2000s had an Irish punk phase that I went through. That was always a good time. The other one that I really liked too was I forget, it was like No FX maybe did an album called I Heard They Suck Live, which I think is just a great album title. This is a true story too. So when I was in college, one of my fraternity brothers and I, we had our own radio show on the campus radio station at Tulane, and we missed the meeting where they assigned time slots because we, were morons. And so we got assigned a 3-hour block on Monday nights from midnight to 3 a.m. We were supposed to be playing punk rock music. It was like the punk rock segment of the radio station.
Yeah.
Neither one of us knew anything about punk rock music. So we just decided to do talk radio instead. And they told us, well, you have to be playing punk music. So we got as many punk CDs as we could find from like the library and just played it underneath us doing talk radio, like one CD after another, after another, after another. So, I still don't know any punk rock music, and I hosted a radio show for 2 semesters my senior year.
Oh, I love it. Let's see. A sentimental one for me is the Ramones Live 1978, I think is their show. It was just like one of the first albums I ever had in my life, which it had a soft spot for me. I'll go like the first one from Crass. So if you want like a real punk band, that's a good one. But I am fond of the folk punk subgenre. So I will say anything from like Pat the Bunny is good. Defiance, Ohio is good. Ghost Mice is good. So there you go. Those would be some of my choices for you.
It's gotta be Let It Be by The Replacements, right?
I was going to say, never mind the Bullocks.
Here's the Sex Pistols.
Or is it London Calling? The Clash? Would they be considered punk?
Yeah. The Clash would be considered punk, sure.
Yes.
My favorite punk band name was always Propagandhi. I really liked that one.
That is a good one. A lot of people know Reese Meister in the Bailey has a gigantic propaganda tattoo on one of his legs. So there you go.
Yeah.
That does it for Patreon questions. We did it. We made it all the way through the month of March, and we answered all of the questions. I guess there's still technically a couple of days, but guys, if you ask questions, it's going to really throw me off. So
definitely ask questions if you have.
So there you go. I should also mention the Patreon, get your name in highlighter pink on the Discord, but the Discord is free and you should join it. There's some good conversations going on over there.
Not always soccer related either. So
no, maybe we can all discuss Sundance when you hear this episode. So there you go.
Either in a happy way or a sad way, apparently, according to the rumors.
Out. Gosh, I guess we're off to part 3 where we may have to talk about FC Cincinnati. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Let's pull the Band-Aid off. All right, we're back. And we have finally reached as I'm looking at this, the 55th minute of the recording session. We may have to talk about FC Cincinnati. We have a match this weekend, gentlemen. FC Cincinnati goes on the road to play Nashville. What are they? FC?
Which I guess always begs the eternal question. I'm going to do a vibes check on this right now. This doesn't have to be an in-depth discussion.
No.
There we go.
No. In fact, the more that their fan base wants it, the less important it is to me. Like, honestly, if we lose this game, I won't care that much. I mean, it'll be disappointing, but it's like,
I'll be mad that we lost another game, but
right, exactly.
Only in the sense that this team needs to figure it out, and it will be another data point in my assessment of where this team is and what the outlook is for this year. But the fact that it's coming to Nashville, it moves the needle not for me.
Right. I like, even in like the truest sense of like, okay, right. Like they may very well be somewhere on the list of potential rivals. I'm still putting, obviously, Columbus, Red Bull, Louisville, Detroit, and San Diego ahead of them, like off the bat. And
I put Charlotte above them. I put Atlanta above them. NYCFC, New England, Orlando,
Dallas. Now that Lucho's down there,
now,
Portland,
Miami.
We got something to prove. Miami for sure.
Yeah.
I still haven't forgiven Seattle for that drubbing they put on us in our first inaugural MLS match. That's up there.
Is Nashville even in the East anymore? I don't even remember.
It's unclear what conference they're in.
Yeah, think they're in the East.
They're in the East.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably the least rival of any team. Philly.
Definitely Philly.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
They're probably the least rival of any team in the East.
I'm trying to think, like,
I'd say
maybe
RSL. They're on like the same level as like RSL.
Right,
whereas
the
I just don't
Western
think.
Conference,
I just don't think about them. RSL, Chicago, Vancouver,
DC.
No,
I forgot about DC.
Yeah,
which is probably a bad sign for their rivalry ranking.
Yeah, probably DC. So like they're in that bottom like 7 teams where I don't think about them ever.
Yeah,
I still think Montreal is a bigger rival just because of all those wacky games we played against Montreal when Nancy was managing there.
100%.
You know what has helped make this not a rivalry? Through every single match we played in the USL years, including preseason, I think we drew every single one of them. And since we joined MLS, or at least I'm going to use FOTMob's overall here. They have 3 wins. We have 2 wins. There are 8 draws. Like, This is a matchup that does not usually produce an interesting result. So,
what is the most memorable moment in FC Cincinnati versus Nashville? I have my thought. I'd be curious to hear what yours are.
Oh, there's 2. There's
Brenner missing a penalty and the keeper flipping him off.
I forgot about that one.
That was at home. It was the one where Lucho spent a weird amount of time talking to Brenner.
Yes.
And then Brenner tried to do a Panenka.
Oh, okay. I remember that game.
And kicked it right to Joe Willis.
Yeah, I'll give an honorable mention to the first 15 minutes of the Yop Stom era.
That's where I was too.
Okay, where I was thinking like, oh my God, we might be the best team on planet Earth.
They went up 2-0 like really, really quick or something like that.
It was just like blinding offense. And then after that, the next like 3 years sucked. No, Chief, I was going to say the correct answer is the playoff loss in the USLs, but the real answer is Big Bird flapping his wings at us in the Bailey.
I see. I wasn't at that game, so I can't recall that.
Well, yeah, you were playing, obviously.
Sir.
Lots of people commented on him looking like you.
That's a hateful thing to say.
Anyway, let's get out of this.
Well, we gotta predict this game. Where are we at? Who's playing in this game for the FC?
This is a good question. So it sounds like Kubo, Miazga, and Hagland were not training with the full team. Hadebi was still not in town, and Denke was still not in town as of today.
Yeah, but Denke played a game like yesterday.
Right. I think
I'm going to say he's back.
I'm going to say he doesn't start, but like subs in a half or something like that.
Oh, I think he's back and goes right in.
I think if he's back, he starts.
I think this team knows that there are problemas in the attack, and they are not going to. They're not going to wait to get him back in.
I'm ready to stop dicking around.
Yeah. Flores will be back. No longer suspended. And
you would hope Miles is back just because.
It was an illness. Yeah, he wasn't injured or anything. Gotta assume they fixed him up by now. Otherwise, he should probably be in the hospital.
Some Tamiflu or whatever.
So I'm not too worried on that front.
So I guess you're thinking a back line of this teenage would be back, right?
He was.
I'm going to assume no.
No.
He was still out as of today. And I don't know, like, where his legal status is and like what the advice may be to come back right now, depending on where things are up in the air. So
right. Well, so you're looking at a back line probably of Flores, hopefully Miles, and you hope Hagland can go, I guess.
And if not Hagland, probably Powell. Yeah.
Fresh off his performance this past weekend.
It was a good performance right up until he kicked the ball to the back of the wrong net.
So let's assume Denke is available. You're going Denke or Ashano ahead of Evander.
Yeah.
And then Buka Woboto in the midfield. If Denke isn't available, are we thinking Corey Baird or are we thinking like a Dotto striker appearance? Because that was something that Pat Noonan deployed last year when he was short on strikers that he trusted.
I'm not interested in that.
I'm not interested in it either, but I'm also not interested in watching Sergio Santos start another game based on how he looks.
I'm not interested in Denke not starting.
Oh,
I'm passing.
Right.
Kubo was also training off to the side or not with the full team. So
I'm assuming he's
also
not,
passing. He'll be fine.
Yeah. So yeah, there we go. Nashville's been on a bit of a tear recently. They are currently 4th in the East. They got a +5 goal differential.
That's so we would call them fully gelled, Nashville.
I think Nashville has gelled. They've got a linebacker coach coaching them. They got 8 goals for themselves. They've given up only 3.
Is that legal?
That is the best mark.
Make it legal.
It's the best mark in the Eastern Conference, tied with the Columbus Crew for your defensive marks. Boy. So I know vibes are at about a C+ right now amongst the FCC faithful. How are we feeling predicting this game?
We're gonna lose 3-1.
Oh, fuck.
We're just not done screwing around yet. Like, I know, like, we've heard of these comments about, like, oh, it was a good wake-up call. We got it together in the second half. We had, leading up to the last game, Engel doing his pregame interview saying, like, well, this is a team of winners. We had Hadabi going out in previous games saying, like, oh, we would all die for each other.
Yeah.
And they're not done screwing around. I can tell. We're going to lose 3-1.
Oh, that'd be killer.
April.
That's when it all comes together. Chief?
Yeah, I don't disagree with Grayson's assessment here. I don't think we're done screwing around.
Oh, no.
I don't think we win this game either. I would say that here's all you need to know. Nashville has scored more goals than we have and given up fewer goals than we have. So on paper,
what did they spend? $40 million in the transfer market?
I mean, at least double what we did.
Andy Nahar is their starting right back.
So I'm going to say we lose 2-0.
Oh, I'm going to be more optimistic than that.
I'd love to know what you're basing that on.
It's a 1-1 draw, baby. I'm looking at previous history with this team versus that team. 1-1 draw. They've got a good defense. We got a good offense. We got a leaky defense. They don't have a very good offense. I like it 1-1.
Would you take a 4-0 loss if it meant we got Sundance?
No.
Yes. What's the difference between 3-1 and 4-0?
4-0 feels so much worse. 4-0 feels so much worse.
It's all right.
Who scores the one, though? That might make a difference.
Ooh.
Evander.
King of the meaningless goal.
Yeah.
That is true.
All right.
Who's the one goal that would make you feel good? Like Haglund or Powell? If Powell got one, I'd feel really good about this team.
Luka. We need to see Luka score a goal is what is the answer to that question.
Yeah, Luka or Denke would make you feel good.
Yeah.
Powell would make you feel like warm.
Powell would make you feel neutral because this is just rebalancing the universe over what he's done.
Come on.
Oh, no.
If Alvis gets one in.
Has Alvis
gonna make you feel fuzzies?
But like if Alvis gets one in on like the one in a 3-1 after conceding the goal that cost us points the last game, the ledger is still not equal.
He has not scored a goal since 2018. He apparently scored 6 goals playing for the Portland Timbers from 2014 to 2018.
I need to see video proof of that happening.
He has scored 2 goals for Jamaica. I don't know when those were scored. Wait, I might be able to find them. They were both scored in 2019. That is the last time he scored. September 9th, 2019. It's the last time Alvis Powell scored a goal in a competitive match.
So he's due.
Yeah. Law of averages. He's going to score 100 goals on Nashville.
All right, let's get out of here.
Fuck Columbus.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Cincy Postcast. It is a production of The Post Cincy. You can check us out at thepostcincy.com or just click a link in the description to check out some of our written work. It also has links to our social media accounts across all sorts of different platforms, including YouTube, where we are trying to do more and more video content. Please, dare I say it, like and subscribe and leave a comment. But no, that would be really, really helpful. Also want to give a thank you to Jim Trace and the Makers. They're a local Cincinnati band who provided all of the music for this episode. We love having them on board. You can check them out. Again, link in the description of this episode to find out where they might be playing shows next or where you can listen to more of their music. Also want to give a massive, massive thank you to the awesome and very attractive patrons over on Patreon. It is a voluntary subscription that people take out with no real promise of anything extra that keep this show afloat. And we are so thankful to those of you that have decided to take that commitment. If you do like the show, or at least just want to engage with other people who have listened to the show and want to talk about FC Cincinnati, MLS, soccer, or really anything else, you can go on over to Discord. Again, link in the description. Lots of links in the description where you can find a link to the Discord. That's where we are keeping the conversation going 24/7. It feels like it's a really fun group of people in there just talking about FC Cincinnati. And like I said, just about everything else. And finally, I'll say it. If you liked this episode, and given the fact that you've made it all the way to the end, I have to assume you either like it or for some reason cannot reach the stop button. Please share this episode with a friend or family member or someone who likes FC Cincinnati. The best way for us to grow is from a personal recommendation from somebody who likes it. And if that's you, please tell other people. And if you don't have any friends, feel free to give us a review on whatever your podcast platform of choice is. We'll take anything we can get. But again, a huge thank you to everybody for listening to this show. I am blown away that anybody listens to this. So again, I well and truly mean this. Thank you so much for listening.